Madonna turned her back every time critics spoke. Then she did this on stage and everything changed. September 14, 1984, New York City. Radio City Music Hall is packed to the rafters. The air is electric, thick with anticipation and cigarette smoke. This is the very first MTV Video Music Awards, a brand new ceremony created to celebrate the exploding world of music videos. No one quite knows what to expect. The biggest names in music are here. Cyndi Lauper, Michael Jackson's influence still lingering from Thriller. Tina Turner roaring back. But backstage, there is one name on everyone's lips, for all the wrong reasons. Madonna. At 26 years old, she's already a controversial figure. Her self-titled debut album from the year before had hits like Holiday, Lucky Star, and Borderline. But many in the industry still saw her as a flash in the pan, a dancer with a good look, a provocative style, and not much vocal talent. Critics dismissed her as the poor man's Cyndi Lauper. The old guard of the music business didn't know what to make of this girl from Michigan who wore crucifixes as fashion statements. Tonight, she is scheduled to perform Like a Virgin, a song that hasn't even been released yet. The title alone is enough to raise eyebrows. In 1984, the word virgin on national television is still edgy. Her team is nervous. Manager Freddie DeMann paces backstage. Stylist Maripol is excited but realistic. She knows the outfit they've chosen is going to cause a storm. A white wedding dress, garter belts, and a belt buckle with giant letters screaming, "Boy Toy." It's a deliberate provocation. The wedding dress symbolizes purity. The boy toy buckle flips that purity on its head. Even MTV's producers seem to sense blood in the water. They gave instructions to the cameramen. If she bends over, zoom in. Get it all. They weren't setting her up for success. They were waiting for her to fail. Huey Lewis reportedly turns to a friend and says, "This girl is going to crash and burn tonight." Madonna herself? She's calm. Or at least she appears to be. Years later, she would say she felt a mix of terror and exhilaration. She knew this performance could make her or end her. The lights dim. A giant wedding cake, 17 feet tall, is wheeled onto the stage. Then, slowly, from the very top, a figure begins to descend. White veil flowing, blonde hair teased high. It's Madonna. The crowd erupts, some in cheers, some in gasps. She sings the opening lines of Like a Virgin with that breathy, playful voice. And then, the moment everyone remembers. One of her white stiletto heels slips off her foot. For a split second, time freezes. But this is Madonna. Instead of freezing, she bends down, slowly, deliberately. Her skirt rides up. White lace underwear flashes on camera. The audience gasps audibly. But she doesn't stop there. She drops to her knees, then to the floor. She begins to roll, to writhe, to crawl. Movements that, in 1984, simply weren't done on television. She grabs the microphone stand, wraps her legs around it. She owns the stage completely. Backstage, Freddie DeMann watches in horror. Her career is over. It's finished. The performance ends. The lights go down. The audience is on its feet. Some cheering, some booing, but no one silent. The next morning, the headlines explode. Madonna's shocking VMA. Performance. Bride of Frankenstein, Madonna rolls on floor in wedding dress. MTV's Night of Scandal. Religious groups condemn her. The Catholic League calls for a boycott. Parent groups demand MTV be censored. Newspapers run editorials about the decline of morality on television. But something else happens, something no one predicted. Record stores are flooded with calls. Do you have that new Madonna song, the one from the awards? Like a Virgin, still unreleased as a single, becomes the most requested song on radio within days. When it finally drops in October, it shoots straight to #1 and stays there for 6 weeks. The album, Like a Virgin, sells over 21 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums by a female artist ever. Madonna doesn't just survive the night, she becomes a superstar because of it. The wedding dress itself becomes an icon. It tours museums. It's displayed at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 2017, it was exhibited at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. In 2023, it sold at auction for over $800,000. Years later, reflections pour in. Freddie DeMann laughing in interviews. I told her her career was over. Turns out, that night was when it really began. Maripol. They wanted to humiliate her. MTV set her up. But Madonna turned their trap into her throne. Even critics who hated it admitted its impact. Rolling Stone, which had been dismissive of her before, later called the performance the moment pop changed forever. Madonna herself, in a 1990 interview, "I knew it was risky. I knew people would be offended. But I also knew that if I played it safe, I'd disappear. That night, I decided to be unforgettable." In a 2016 documentary, she elaborated, "The rolling on the floor wasn't planned, but when the shoe came off, I had a choice: act embarrassed or own it. I chose to own it, and that's been my philosophy ever since." Cultural historians now point to that night as a turning point. Before 1984, female pop stars were expected to be pretty, polite, and palatable. After Madonna's VMAs performance, the rules changed. Sexuality became a tool of power, not shame. Image became as important as music. Provocation became strategy. Artists like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Lady Gaga, Beyoncé, Taylor Swift, all of them in different ways, walk a path that Madonna cleared that night in a wedding dress on the floor of Radio City Music Hall. The boy toy buckle wasn't just fashion. It was a declaration of independence. The lost shoe wasn't a mistake. It was the spark. The rolling on the floor wasn't scandal. It was revolution. And the girl everyone thought would crash and burn, she became the queen of pop. A queen who taught an entire generation of women and men that when the world tries to embarrass you, you don't hide. You roll with it. You own it. You make it yours. And then you rise. This is the true story of how one accident on stage in 1984 didn't end Madonna's career. It launched her into the stratosphere and changed pop culture forever. The critics turned their backs. The industry tried to bury her. MTV tried to expose her. But Madonna? She turned a moment of potential humiliation into the defining performance of a generation. And she never looked back. The real faces of famous names who changed the world that nobody ever knew about. Those secret lives, forgotten struggles, and hidden truths that history books never told. In each video, you'll discover the stories of legendary people whose names everyone knows, but whose real stories no one has learned. The turbulent lives behind those famous faces recognized by millions, dark secrets, incredible sacrifices, and those pivotal moments that shaped history. The painful pasts that remain behind the glitter of the stages, tragic stories that were the price of success. World-shaking scandals and mysterious events still talked about years after their deaths. If you're curious about what goes on behind the scenes with famous names and want to discover the unknown stories of people who left their mark on history, subscribe now. Turn on notifications because each video is filled with shocking truths. Let's uncover the hidden stories of celebrities together. Don't forget to subscribe.